Penguin Random House Audio presents A Life Impossible, Living with ALS, Finding Peace and Wisdom Within a Fragile Existence, by Steve Gleason with Jeff Duncan. Read for you by Daniel Cummings. May all the caregivers of the universe, and at least one scheduler and godfather, be infinitely blessed. For all the families working to live with ALS, and anyone who has experienced hardship and suffering, may you know you are not alone. For the Varisco family, without you, there is no New Orleans. I'm the luckiest son-in-law, brother-in-law ever. For my parents, thank you for pouring the foundation to make me smart, strong, humble, and courageous. For Gray and Rivers, may you know you are unconditionally loved. Embrace the adventurous journey to endlessly discover a clearer view of truth. For Michelle, we're an epic fucking team. That boy has disappeared. Admiration, friendship, and love remain. The greatest things you'll ever know are invisible. May you know you are free. I know I was born, and I know that I'll die. The in-between is mine. Eddie Vedder. Chapter 1. Naked Tears. Tears water our growth. Author unknown. I sat naked in the shower while a 24-year-old man washed my armpits. Across the bathroom, my 3-year-old daughter, Gray, sat in the middle of the floor, cross-legged like the Buddha, with one difference. She was wailing hysterically and incessantly, inconsolable, and I was incapable of helping her. Only minutes earlier, my wife, Michelle, marched through my bedroom holding a screaming Gray, set her down in the middle of the bathroom floor, and quickly left without any explanation. All I knew was that we were getting ready to fly to Chicago, and Michelle was trying to pack. The shower is the final phase of what I call my morning workout, the routine I conduct with my care crew to prepare me for each day. In many ways, the workout functions like the pregame warm-up I performed during my 8-year playing career with the New Orleans Saints. There is one major difference, though. These days, I am completely reliant on caregivers to perform these tasks for me, because I can no longer move, talk, or breathe. On January 5, 2011, I was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a rare neurodegenerative disease that damages the nerves that control voluntary muscle movement. ALS, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is relentless and humiliating. It progressively robs people of their motor skills, and in turn, destroys their quality of life. Although your senses and brain remain sharp, you gradually lose the ability to walk, talk, swallow, and breathe. Today, I'm well past the point of being able to move, talk, or breathe on my own. The powerful legs I once used to race downfield on National Football League kickoffs now are withered. My arms, once muscled and ripped, are frail and motionless. My 5'11" frame, once a strapping 210 pounds, is now an emaciated meat sack of flesh and bones. I've lived in a wheelchair for more than a decade. I've lived on a ventilator since 2014. Lou Gehrig, the famous Major League Baseball, MLB player for whom the disease is named, died 2 years after he was diagnosed. Most people diagnosed with ALS follow in Gehrig's steps. Death comes a few years after diagnosis. I'm clearly biased, but I'd say I don't look too shabby for being more than 10 years past my expiration date. Each morning, my care crew and I go through the same routine. In the early years, the process took about 2 hours to complete. Through trial and error, we have streamlined it to a very efficient 45 to 60 minutes. Those early years of this workout, being naked and silent, and feeling a brutal powerlessness and vulnerability, were a time of great suffering. I decided to call it a workout to clarify my mindset and find ways to enjoy the process. just like I'd enjoyed difficult workouts in the NFL. For me, the difference between suffering and difficult is all in my mindset. Now, my day usually begins at 6 a.m. with 2 hours of meditation and mental training, while in bed. During this mental training, I eat breakfast, a syringe of meds, coffee, and a smoothie, through a feeding tube that has been surgically inserted into my stomach. Then my caregivers stretch me for 15 to 30 minutes to work my muscles and keep my body limber. After I stretch, I'm given an enema to encourage a bowel movement and lifted by a caregiver out of bed and carried onto an aluminum plastic shower chair. Being carried by someone else, while not breathing, is a profoundly vulnerable step that requires radical acceptance. To begin the bowel program, one of them pushes his or her fist into my torso to force poop out of my body and into a garbage bag and bucket positioned below the seat. Over the years, this part of the workout has evolved greatly. Like every single aspect of life with ALS, it's an exploration of the unknown, and there's no handbook. Up until about a year ago, it was something like a poop war. I would encourage caregivers to push so hard around my large intestinal tract, some of them would initially be scared they were touching my spine and hurting me. Since then, it has become more of a dance. We are patient and let my gut do what it does. When caregivers push, it's now a light coaxing, a serenade. Normally, I communicate with people, including my caregivers, using eye-tracking technology on my computer tablet. But because I'm without my tablet during my workout process, I use a simple nonverbal system to let them know what I need. Using eye and facial movements, I guide them. Eyebrows up for harder, blinking for softer. Look to the left for move left, look to the right for move right. If I need something out of the ordinary, I use an ingenious no-tech communication system perfected by musician Jason Becker and his father Gary. Jason was diagnosed with ALS in 1989. Gary developed the Becker communication system in 1997, after Jason lost the ability to talk. This letterboard, as we call it, has 6 boxes with a group of 4 letters in each, 3 boxes on top and 3 more on the bottom. The ingenious aspect is that each letter can be communicated in 2 eye movements. The first eye movement indicates the box, and the second one identifies the specific letter within that box. I use this letterboard all the time, especially in my workout, and when I'm outside during the day because the ultraviolet light from the sun kills the infrared eye tracker that follows my eyes. I am infinitely grateful to the Beckers. While we're performing the bowel program, a cough machine blows air deep into my lungs and blows mucus out of my nose, my mouth, and the surgically placed tracheostomy hole in my neck. The bowel process can sometimes take 20 minutes to complete and is admittedly gnarly to witness. The physical pressure on my body often causes me to wince and drool. But as barbaric as it looks, I have grown to really love my daily exorcism. I feel reborn afterward. Next, a caregiver takes my remaining clothes off and wheels me into the adjacent bathroom for my shower, which is administered through a handheld shower head. To facilitate the process, I'm briefly taken off the ventilator. I'm no longer able to hold my breath, but over the past 9 years of living with a ventilator, we now know that I can be off the vent for around 90 seconds and be okay. It's one of a handful of times during the day that I am not connected to the machine that breathes for me and makes this impossible life possible. It's like a practice of dying, which invigorates me. I do not take one glorious, oxygen-rich, ineffable breath for granted. I am most vulnerable during the daily shower, naked in every way, physically and emotionally. This nakedness can be an incoherently isolating experience. But through a process of surrender and trust in the meticulous system we have created, this dance with the caregivers has been perfected over time. It is now beautifully choreographed and executed. During my shower, I faced the large bathroom mirror and cabinets in our bathroom.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?